Welcome, warriors. You are here because you are looking for a reason to keep going. You are here because the road has gotten steep, the pain has become a constant companion, and the world is telling you to stop. But today, we are going to look at the life of a man who turned stop into a suggestion and impossible into his kingdom. This is the story of Rafael Nadal, the raging bull of Mallorca, a man recently elevated to the rank of the first Marquis of Levante de Mallorca, not just for his titles, but for the singular case study he represents in physiological resilience and the indomitable human spirit. The forge of a champion, every warrior has a beginning. For Rafa, it started in Mallorca, Spain. He was born into a family that understood the value of effort. While his uncle Miguel Angel was a professional footballer, it was his uncle Tony Nadal who introduced him to the tennis court at the age of 3. Listen closely, warrior. Rafa's path was not paved with ease. Tony was a demanding mentor. He singled Rafa out, shouting at him more than the other children, making him sweep the courts, ensuring that he understood from day one that talent is a given, but character is earned. Rafa admitted he sometimes returned home from those sessions in tears, but he didn't quit. He chose to stay in Mallorca, rejecting scholarships to move elsewhere because his family believed you could become a great athlete from your own home. At age 8, while still a promising footballer, Rafa won a regional tennis championship. It was then that Tony made a radical tactical decision. He encouraged Rafa, a natural right-hander, to play with his left hand to gain a competitive advantage. It was a difficult transition, a reconstruction of his entire physical identity, but it was the first step in creating the technical hegemony that would one day conquer the world. The technical gladiator. When Rafa turned professional in 2001 at the age of 15, he didn't just join the tour, he disrupted it. He bypassed the traditional junior circuits to test his limits against grown men. By 2003, he had already broken into the top 50, and by 2004, at just 18 years old, he secured his first ATP title in Sopo. What made him different? It was the brutality of his ground strokes. He employed a semi-western grip forehand with a lasso whip follow-through that defied physics, while his rivals were hitting with 1,800 to 1,900 revolutions per minute. Rafa was averaging 3,200, sometimes hitting as high as 4,900 revolutions per minute. This heavy topspin didn't just move the ball, it pushed his opponents deep behind the baseline, forcing them into a state of psychological and physical attrition. Opponents described the weight of his ball as something that led to their eventual mental collapse. He was the ultimate aggressive counterpuncher, a defender who could construct winning plays from seemingly impossible positions. The king of his kingdom. If you want to understand dominance, look at the clay courts of Paris. Roland Garros was Rafa's spiritual home. Between 2005 and 2007, he maintained an 81-match winning streak on clay, the longest single surface streak in the Open era. He won the French Open 14 times. Think about that number, warrior. He achieved a match record of 112 wins and only 4 losses in Paris, a 96.6% win rate. Many analysts view this as one of the greatest feats in the history of all sports. He won this major in his teens, his 20s, and his 30s, showing a relentless capacity for reinvention as his body changed. He won the French Open 4 times without dropping a single set. This wasn't just winning, it was a total eclipse of the competition. He never even allowed himself to be taken to a 5th set in a French Open final. The great rivalries pushing the limit. No warrior reaches their peak without a rival to push them. Rafa was part of the Big Three, alongside Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic, a trio that defined a golden era of tennis. Rafa's rivalry with Federer was a contrast of styles, Federer's fluid grace against Rafa's intense resilience. Their meeting in the 2008 Wimbledon final is often cited as the greatest match in the history of the sport. Rafa fought through rain delays and near darkness for 4 hours and 48 minutes to end Federer's reign on grass and ascend to world number 1. Then there was Djokovic. Their rivalry was a battle of attrition, meeting 60 times in total. They contested the longest Grand Slam final in history at the 2012 Australian Open, a grueling 5-hour and 53-minute odyssey that pushed the boundaries of human endurance. Federer himself said of Rafa, "We have pushed each other to become better players." Rafa echoed this, noting that he needed those rivals to become the gladiator he ended up being. They were a fraternity of warriors, playing a high-stakes chess match where there were no secrets, only the purity of the struggle. The adversary within, battling the body. This is where your motivation comes from, warrior. Do not think Rafa's journey was a smooth ride of victory. His career was a constant negotiation with physical limitations. At the age of 19, he was diagnosed with Muller-Weiss syndrome, a rare degenerative bone disease in his foot. It was a diagnosis that could have ended his career before it truly began. For 2 decades, he played through chronic pain that required lifetime shoe modifications and anesthetic injections just to step onto the court. In 2022, he arrived at the French Open on one leg. He was in tears in his bed at 5 a.m., thinking his career was over. But he talked to his doctor, found a way to put the nerve to sleep, and went on to win his 14th title in Paris. Rafa's longitudinal injury profile is a map of suffering: knee tendonitis, wrist fractures, abdominal tears, and finally hip surgery in 2023. Yet, time and time again, he returned. He said, "You have to accept things as they come." This resilience is his true legacy. He didn't just win when he was healthy. He won when his body was battered and bruised by 23 seasons of combat. The mindset of the warrior. What was the internal fire that kept the raging bull moving? It was a set of values he calls the foundation of everything: effort over trophy. For Rafa, success isn't the trophy, it's the effort to achieve it. He believes the process of learning and improving is what truly counts. The gift of struggle. Paradoxically, Rafa views his injuries as a gift. They helped him appreciate every victory as if it might be his last. He lived his entire career with uncertainty and doubt, which kept him on high alert, wanting to make the most of every good moment. Unrelenting humility. Despite being a global icon, he considers himself just a normal guy from a small village. He refuses to tout his achievements and insists that you don't have to be arrogant just because you are good at one particular thing. Passion as the engine. Passion was his key to overcoming the toughest moments. He encourages everyone to find what motivates them, as that passion gives you the strength to pursue your dreams. A legacy that transcends the court. Rafa's impact isn't just measured in the 22 Grand Slams or the double career Grand Slam, winning all 4 majors at least twice. It's measured in the Rafael Nadal Foundation, which he launched in 2007 to help disadvantaged children. His foundation supported over 1,400 direct beneficiaries in the 2024 to 2025 school year alone, using sport and education as tools for social integration. He believes that every small step matters. 1 more hour of study, 1 more training session. Then there is the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca. This is where the Nadal DNA of effort and humility is being passed to the next generation. It has evolved into a global athletic conglomerate, training the world's top juniors and serving as a hub for active professionals like Jaume Munar and Lorenzo Sonego. Beyond tennis, he has built an ecosystem of success, the Zell Hospitality brand. He has shown that a warrior's work never ends, it simply shifts focus. The final bow, full circle. On November 19, 2024, in Malaga, Spain, the Raging Bull took his final bow. It was a full circle moment, retiring at the Davis Cup, the same tournament where he had his first great joy as a professional in 2004. He retired alongside his successor, Carlos Alcaraz, passing the torch to the next generation. In his farewell message, he said, "I leave with the absolute peace of mind of having given my best, of having made an effort in every way." In his first 6 months of retirement, Rafa has found serenity. He hasn't picked up a racket for fun because his physique reached a point where it could do no more. Instead, he enjoys a normal life with his son, Rafael Jr., and finds a much nicer competitive outlet on the golf course. He is reported loving life in retirement, even hitting the ski slopes after a 26-year break. Your call to action, warrior. Rafael Nadal's story is a testament to the power of the relentless pursuit. He wasn't a slave to tennis, but he was a master of his own effort. He didn't just participate, he fought for every point as if his life depended on it. Listen to me, warrior, the world may see your injuries, they may see your setbacks, they may even start talking about your retirement. But you decide when the match is over. You decide how much you are willing to give. Rafa once said, "You can't always win, but you can always learn." Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. Every pain is a reminder that you are still in the fight. Don't look at the trophy, look at the sweat on your brow. Don't look at the destination, embrace the journey. Be humble in your victories and resilient in your defeats. The raging bull has left the court, but the spirit of the warrior lives in you. Go out there, give your best, make the effort, because in the end, it doesn't matter how you start, it only matters how you finish. Stay truly motivated, stay warriors. If you faced the same struggles as Nadal, would you keep fighting or give up?